Marketing. It's just a fancy word for manipulation. Don't believe me? What's the purpose of marketing? It's utilizing research on the customer to better communicate to them so that you can sell them something more efficiently. That's manipulation whether you realize it or not. Most people don't understand this, but from time to time, the general public does wake up. An extreme example being the Kendall Jenner Pepsi Black Lives Matter ad. Pepsi tried to utilize a tragic situation to manipulate you into thinking that Pepsi loves the black community in hopes that you buy more soda, which is hilarious because the last thing communities that suffer from food deserts need is more sugar, caffeine, and carbs. If you actually cared, put a grocery store in the hood that carries fresh fruits and veggies. Hell, those grocery stores could even carry Pepsi to meet a nice middle ground. But hey, what do I know? I'm just some black guy on the internet. Anyways, that campaign backfired in their face, and I loved every second of it. On a more lighthearted note, marketing is what made me check out the new Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers movie. I didn't even know a new Chip 'n Dale movie was coming, but thanks to the power of social media propping up Ugly Sonic, we do now. Yep, Ugly Sonic made me watch Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers on Disney+. I mean, I knew of Chip 'n Dale before this film. It was a strip club. I'm joking. They were a popular kids show in the 80s and 90s, but I never watched them as a kid. I strictly watched this because the Ugly Sonic bit made me laugh, and boy am I glad that I watched this movie. Rescue Rangers is a great film, unlike Sneakerella. The basic premise, without spoiling anything major, is we get a quick backstory on how the two met and became friends. Eventually they get their own TV show, but they eventually end up breaking up. They show us how they break up, and then the show gets canceled. Fast forward to present day, and Chip is a grumpy middle-aged man, and Dale is getting by making appearances at conventions. That's actually where Ugly Sonic comes into play. He doesn't play a big role in the film outside of a couple scenes. The two friends haven't been in communication since the show was canceled. Tragedy strikes, and it forces the gang to reunite reluctantly to solve a mystery. At first, I was kind of like, but once again, I have no special place in my heart for these characters as I didn't grow up with them. But once the adventure kicks off, the film really heats up. Reason being is, this film is one giant burst of nostalgia. This is basically the modern day Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and for multiple reasons. This movie features tons of popular cartoon characters from the 80s to early 2000s drawn into the real world. Half the fun of the film is you just sitting there wondering who's gonna appear next. But it's not just about the cameos. The writing in this is genuinely funny. I'm not gonna lie, I laughed out loud a few times, and this is a PG rated film. The plot is simple, but the spin they put on classic cartoons, plus the banter between Chip and Dale, is hilarious. Chip is an old man disgruntled with Hollywood, and Dale is an idiot constantly getting the two into trouble. The contrast and the energy just works, and the main villain in this film is great too. I don't want to spoil anything, but let's just say a classic Disney character finally grew up, and he didn't turn out so great. The attention to detail is great here too. Chip is animated in his old 80s style of art, while Dale has a more modern CG look akin to Alvin and the Chipmunks. I remember sitting there wondering why the two look so different, and then halfway through the film, Dale answers my question, and for the sake of not spoiling the joke, I'll just say it pokes fun at today's vain Instagram society. The movie felt like a labor of love. This was produced by people who genuinely have a passion for cartoons and its vast history. Other highlights include Kiki Lane. She plays the cop helping the boys out with their problem. She did a great job pretending like she was actually talking to two rodents throughout the whole film. She's great at straddling that line between taking the role seriously, but also keeping that fun, charming energy I believe kids will love. She's a fine piece of chocolate too, but Dr. Umar said we must remain focused, my brothers. My only question I've been asking myself is, did I enjoy this film because it's full of nostalgia and I had zero expectations, or is it because it's actually good? After sitting with that question for a few days, I've come to the conclusion that this is a good movie. Nostalgia aside, the writing is good. The dynamic between the two friends is solid enough that I think that I would revisit this film from time to time. I know for sure I'd enjoy this movie tenfold if I had kids to watch it with, or I was chilling with little cousins or nieces and nephews. If you have kids, definitely watch Rescue Rangers with them on Disney+. This is the very definition of a good family film. It has all the cute, goofy humor kids love, plus the nostalgia in it for adults to enjoy. It's something here for everyone. I think the public owes Ugly Sonic an apology. He has multiple funny scenes in this movie. If the Sonic the Hedgehog movie is ever introduced the multiverse, he deserves his own redemption arc like Andrew Garfield in No Way Home. But hey, I'm just saying.